Tata Motors is clearly maturing as a car maker. Just look at the Zest and the Bolt. These are two cars from Tata Motors that you'd finally buy, not because they're the most affordable in their class or for some jingoistic streak, but actually for their merit. Take design, take interiors, or even quality for that matter, and both these cars can really stand up to the competition at hand. But the crucial bit is whether Tata Motors can take all those learnings from the Zest and the Bolt and apply it to their smallest, most affordable, and to an extent infamous small car, the Nano. First, the design. And the Nano is without doubt a cute little small car. More so in this form wherein it gets a new front bumper and lower grille, revised and smoked headlamps, and nice looking gloss black garnish on the hood. At the rear again the bumper has changed and it looks more current and palatable. Plus the exhaust outlet has moved to the left, which was centrally located earlier. But of course the biggest change is the rear opening hatch. Now before we tell you more about it, let's first hear what engineering changes had to be made to incorporate it from Nano's creator himself, Girish Wagh.
The earlier Nano had the hatch part of the car and therefore it added to the torsional stiffness. So when we went for the openable hatch, we had to strengthen the body in the local zone as well as in some other areas to ensure that the torsional stiffness or rigidity is maintained at the required level. Therefore, the body has been strengthened. The hatch, the tailgate, as we call, the part around that, the aperture is called as the C-pillar on both sides. So in C-pillar we've added a lot of reinforcements. In the floor we have added a member and reinforcements. And these are also connected well to the front structure of the car. And therefore we get the similar amount of torsional rigidity or stiffness.
So in terms of structure, we don't really have anything to worry about. In terms of convenience, this opening hatch gets a handle, but you can't really open it with this. What you need is the key. And then you use the handle to pop it open. Once inside, this car has 94 liters of boot space. Now this is the AMT, that's why 94. If you buy the manual, you get a little over 100. And that's because of the placement of the gearboxes and this additional height that there is for this boot. What this means is you can throw in a couple of carry-on bags, some grocery, and possibly a tripod. Oh yes, it can. So I guess the Nano isn't bad for photographers either. Compared to the original Nano, it's a sea change inside. The dash is lighter colored, there are a couple of usable glove boxes, and there's also place to put a small bottle. But these changes appeared on the Nano Twist. So for Gen X Nano, there's a new steering wheel that's nice to hold and twirl, chrome outline for the AC vents, and new instrumentation. Must say, all these additions don't just help lift the image of the car, these are pretty handy too. Now space has never been a problem with the Nano. In fact, it has been its biggest USP, and that hasn't changed with the Gen X Nano either. So you have enough leg and knee room for front and rear passengers respectively, and even though the shoulder room isn't great, but it still won't have you nudging your co-passenger uncomfortably while driving or seating. Then of course it's a really tall car, and so headroom, as expected, is outstanding. Seats and door inserts get new fabric, and overall there's more plastic all around, instead of the interiors looking bare basic. In terms of equipment, the top-of-the-line XT versions get front power windows, Bluetooth telephony, and a rear parcel tray with integrated speakers. The engine on the Nano continues to be the same. It's the same 2-cylinder 624cc 38 horsepower engine. So naturally the Nano isn't very fast, and honestly it takes its own sweet time to get up to speed. Now with the AMT, this one is a 5-speed unit compared to a 4-speed manual that you get. Now since it had 5 speeds, we would have expected Tata Motors to close the ratio a bit, so this lag between each gear wouldn't have happened. Now you have to wait really long for the car to pick up. And the AMT, in typical AMT fashion, there's this lag between every gear change. So it works well in the city, but it's not a car that you would really want to take out even if you feel adventurous. I wouldn't. This AMT, as we told you, is a 5-speed unit, but this also comes with sport mode, which Tata Motor claims is a multi-drive mode. So there's a button here that you press S and it throws up sport reading on the dash. And even though the car does feel slightly peppier, it's not something that will make you go wow. The Nano to me is not a car for all seasons. And by seasons, I don't mean summer, winter or rain, because on those counts, the Nano will work, does work, and it'll keep you protected. What I mean is, if you wanted a car to satisfy all your car-related needs, then the Nano doesn't really work that well. If you wanted a city car, yes, the Nano is really, really good. Now with the AMT and the power steering, and of course its compact dimensions, it's very easy to live in the city. But what if I wanted to indulge in some driving fun? Would I get the Nano? No. What if I wanted to go up a hill climb? Would I take the Nano? No. I wouldn't even take the Nano if I were to do, say, from Bombay to Chennai, because it's just not meant for that. So who's going to buy the Nano? If you're a first-time car buyer and you're going to drive mainly in the city, yes, the Nano makes all sense. Also, if you're looking for a second car in the family, maybe for college-going kids or the wife, again, the Nano makes sense. Especially when you consider that it's going to be priced under Rs 3 lakh, even for this fully spec'd out version. For a detailed review and more news, videos and reviews, do log on to zigwheels.com.